Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson 10 in the Fiqh series. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi. Allahumma faqqihna fi ddeen. Rabbi zidna ilma. Allah increase us in knowledge, increases with understanding, and bless us with understanding of our deen. So we continue, and the author says in Fiqh, the author says in the next chapter, Faslun وَالَّذِي يُوجِبُ الْغُسْلِ ستة أشياء, and that which necessitates ghusl. So now we reached the point of ghusl, and ghusl is سيلان الماء على جميع البدن, is to pour water over the entire body, but that's in the language definition. In the definition according to the ulama in the Sharia is سيلان الماء على جميع البدن بنية مخصوصة, so with a specific intention, so pouring water over the entire body with a specific intention, and the whole body is one limb. So the whole body has to be covered with water for us to be now having performed this now purificatory bath. That integrals the first acts, the obligatory acts will be looked in the next episode. This is what necessitates, so what puts us in a state that now we need to have a bath. What necessitates ghusl, and it's 6 things. So for the ghusl we need an intention. The intention is something that then removes us from our habitual actions to a ibadah, to a worship, act of worship. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, that all deeds and all deeds are by intention. So we have an intention, are we going to perform this ibadah, we get rewarded for it. If we just perform something, is it okay? We're having a bath. Are we having a bath, purificatory bath? If you're having a bath, are we having a swimming? Are we going swimming? Are we doing it for having a cooling down? We're just putting water over our whole entire body for cooling down. Are we doing it for just cleaning ourselves, just cleaning our body because there's something specifically on it? So that's just normal, permissible, what you just normally do. But if you have the intention that I'm doing this to actually have a bath, to get myself out of this major ritual impurity state, then that's different. You get rewarded for that, and now you're in a state of you're pure. So we have minor ritual impurity, that's our normal selves, and we can't in that normal sense touch the Quran, read Salah. We need to perform wudu. So that wudu takes us to removes us that minor ritual impurity sense. Now we're in the state we can do the 2 mentioned things. However, these things, if we do any of these things, then now we're in a state of major ritual impurity, and to get out of that, to purify ourselves, clean ourselves, is by performing a ghusl. So the first thing, ثلاثة تشترك فيها الرجال والنساء. 3 of these items from the 6 are where men and women both participate in it. It applies to both of them. And what are they? وهي التقاء الختانين. So it is the meeting of the 2 private parts, the frontal private parts of the man and the woman. Now, that's khitanain is to refer to the foreskin. So, but we do circumcision and we remove the foreskin for both in the women's sense and the men's sense. So that meeting, so it's the whole head. It's the whole head. Once that disappears into the women's private part, and that's now you are, regardless of anything has come out, any ejaculation, any sperm, that is now it's further. And now you're in a state of major ritual impurity, and you need to perform ghusl to be lift yourself to be purified. So it's the whole head. Again, this is also in terms of mahr, dowry. Once that part has entered the woman, that wife, that now you are you need to give her a dowry. You've entered your wife, so the dowry becomes, the mahr becomes wajib. Similarly, the capital punishment for zina, for fornication, adultery, that only can take place if 4 witnesses saw that, and that was the whole head going in. If it was half head, that's not the point. Again, if half or a bit of it goes in, inside the women's private part, then that's not what necessitates ghusl. Only when the whole head goes in of the male private part. So iltiqal khitanain, and regardless who you entered, if it was someone who has reached maturity or not, you need to perform ghusl. Next one is inzalul mani. So this is now ejaculation, sperm, and even if for the woman as well, if she had a wet dream, as one of the Sahabi radiallahu anha, she came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do we need to have a bath if he had a wet dream? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِذَا رَأَتْ الْمَاء, if you see sperm, if you see water, so that substance. So yes, they have sperm as well. And once that has exited the private parts from any of the 2, even if you were to see a picture, you see a picture and you just ejaculated, due to the picture you saw, or you saw some woman, or a woman saw a man, and that caused you to get excited, and that caused some sperm to come out, that would necessitate a bath. It's not necessarily in the act between a man and a woman. So the exiting of sperm, well, maut. So maut is the final part, and that is the right of the deceased. The deceased has to be washed. It's wajib, obligatory, to wash the deceased before we shroud, before we pray salah, the janazah namaz, and before we bury them finally. So this is now also mainly to do with the shaheed of the dunya as well. We need to wash them. The shaheed of dunya, the one who in this current situation with coronavirus, or in normal situations as well with just illnesses and they die to a specific thing, or any kind of accident happened or so. So there are many reasons for the shaheed, the martyr of this dunya. But we're talking about those ones and just normal death. But the ones who are shaheed of the akhirah, the ones who actually fought and on the battlefield and they die, we do not wash them. They come on the day of judgment, and they will be, you can tell that they were the martyrs, because they'll have musk all over the blood. However we buried them as they were, that's how Allah wants them to be. They'll be with musk, and they'll be so fragrant, and they'll have rubies and so forth, and we can distinguish who was the martyr. So maut, when someone dies, we need to make sure we give them a ghusl. It's first on that deceased person that we give them their haqq. Right, and then وَثَلَاثَةٌ تَخْتَصُ بِهَا النِّسَاء وَهِيَ. And then there's three things that specifically for the woman, and that is, which now if any of these three happen, she needs to do ghusl, perform the purificatory bath. Al-hayd, menstruation, and so this is the natural blood that comes out, then they have the periodical cycle. A man cannot approach the woman at this time, and have relations at this time. So this time, after that, when they've finished that period, they need to have a bath. Then now they're in a state of, they can perform their ibadah. One nifas, and nifas is postpartum or postnatal bleeding. So that's now obviously to do with childbirth. When things come out at that moment, and wilada, and this is this is birth. So when birth happens, what has come out? A child has come out. What is a child? A child is a male sperm and the female sperm, and it's kind of coming to a human form. So that human form, that baby, is in a sense a sperm. It's that compound of that too, isn't it? So that's come out of the body. So that's a time when you need to perform ghusl. So these are the 6 items. These 6 places that 6 things that necessitate us. Now we're in a major ritual impurity state, and we need to perform also purificatory bath to come out of it. Wa sallallahu Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.